Heading into last chance saloon territory for Chile now as we enter the World Cup qualification phase, match number 13 in South America. Can La Roca get back into the thick of things, or will they be eliminated? Not many games left. We're going to come at you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today is all about match number 13, that's right, in the CONMEBOL South American World Cup qualifying, that's right. Argentina seem to be cruising their way to the World Cup, but they're coming into this on a bit of wobbly form. We'll showcase you that and more in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button, your one-stop shop for Blabber Novas, World Cup qualification and World Cup itself. We've got it all here under one rooski. That's right, boys and girls. So, interesting look at the table, guys. You will be surprised at what's going on at the top of the table. We'll showcase you that in a minute. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. So here we go. We're going to turn the clock back to the last time we played, which was back in 2024. I'm going to say it was back in October, November, something like that. And this is the table. I'm going at you right here, right now. Should we do back? Let's do this. I'll come back to the table in a minute. So Bolivia took on Paraguay. Of course, I went with a 3-1 win for Bolivia. Unfortunately, it was a 2-2 draw. Bolivia still are in the thick of things, and we'll showcase you that in the table in a second. Meanwhile, Colombia lost at home to Ecuador. Goodness gracious me, I went with a 2-0 win. Argentina did beat Peru just the 1-0. I went with a 4-0 win. Chile with a massive, important 4-2 win over Venezuela. I went with a 2-1 win. And Brazil kind of shit the bed, really, against Uruguay, 1-1. I went with a 2-0 win. So now we're going to go back to that graphic, not that. What the fuck's going on here? Not that. There we go. There's the table right here, right now. Argentina, of course, top of the table, 25 points for them. Uruguay are in second with 20 points. Ecuador in third. And then Colombia are in fourth. Brazil down to fifth. They still have a good gap, of course. Basically, they need to be in the top six. Top six will qualify. Seventh will go into a playoff. And that's what Chile are trying to do right here, right now. Chile, Venezuela, Bolivia, Peru look like they're on the brink as well. Still, it's quite, you know, it's difficult to see who's going to make it. You know, as a guy who was following Chile for a little bit, you know, they should belong in the World Cup. But Bolivia haven't been there in a long, long time. Same can be said for Venezuela. So, hey, and Paraguay, kudos for them. They look like they could be on the way as well. Unbeaten in a good 6 games there. So that's the state of play there. We already looked at that. So these are the next round of games. This is match day number 13, and we're going to come at you right here, right now. All right, folks, kicking on off at the top of the shop there with a trip to Paraguay. Paraguay taking on Chile, coming out to Estadio Defensores de Chaco, of course, on the 20th of March. Paraguay coming into this with the coach, Gustavo Alfalfo, the Argentinian. They currently find themselves 6th in the table with 17 points. They're coming into this unbeaten in the last 6, picking up 3 wins and 3 draws. Chile, on the other hand, under Ricardo Garcia, the Argentinian, 2 Argentinians in the dugout, coming into this on 42% form, following on from back-to-back wins. They have played Paraguay 20 times since 2003. 7 wins Paraguay, 10 wins Chile. There's been 3 draws between the two sides. Chile, I do have a 3-0 win on their record. They've scored 26 goals in the 20 games, picking up a 1.30 goals a game on average. Paraguay on the flip side, also with a 3-0 win, scoring 24 goals in those 20 games, 1.20 goals a game on average. We have no bookies odds, but the most recent match between these two sides at Paraguay was a 1-0 win for Chile way back in November 2021. Chile also picking up a 3-0 win last time they played back in June 2024. They're coming into this on the back of that 6-1 win over Panama. Paraguay picking up a 2-2 draw against Bolivia. This was a toughie here, and I think I'm going to side with Paraguay purely on the fact of their unbeaten run. I don't think they will. I don't think Chile will win it. They could get a draw, so I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Paraguay on this one. Let's hop over to Brazil now. Brazil taking on Colombia at the Estadio de Nacional Mane Garrincha. That's right, Brasilia. Brazil under Dorival, 5th in the table, 18 points for the campaign, unbeaten in the last 4, just 1 defeat in the last 6 against Colombia. Under Ernesto Lorenzo, just 1 win in the last 4. They are 4th in the table with 19 points for the name. They played Brazil 18 times in 2003, 8 wins Brazil, 2 wins Colombia. There's been 8 draws between the two sides. Brazil do have a 2-0 win most recently, scoring 19 goals in those 18 games, 1.06 goals a game on average. The Colombians with a 2-1 win on the record, just 12 goals scored in those 18 matches, 0.67 goals a game on average. Last time around, of course, in Brazil, in I believe it was a 1-0 win for Brazil way back in November 2021. Previously, or the last match they played, it was a 1-1 draw back in the Copa America back in July 2024. The Brazilians on the back of a draw themselves, 1-1 against Uruguay, that's back in November. Colombia with a loss against Ecuador. In fact, 2 defeats on the spin for them as they kind of lose control of their qualification status on this one. No odds again on this one. Brazil should win it. It is at home. If they don't, then questions need to be raised. And is this Dorival fella the man to lead the Brazilians into this World Cup? That's, of course, something that we'll have to discuss later on. Let's go to Peru. Paddington Bears' hometown, that's right. Peru up against Bolivia at the Estadio Nacional Lima. Peru under Jorge Fossati. They are 10th in the table, just 1 win in the last 6. Up against Bolivia under Oscar Velez. Winless in the last 3. They have played 20 times in 2004, 9 wins Peru, 5 for Bolivia. There's been 6 draws for them over the course of those 20-odd years. Peru need a win here. They do have a 3-0 win on the record. They scored 31 goals in those 20 matches, 1.55 goals a game on average. Bolivia on the flip side, they also have a 3-0 win, scoring 21 goals in those 20 matches, 1.05 goals a game. Last time around, of course, over at Peru, it was a 1-0 win way back in November 2022. The most recent match, though, was the World Cup qualifier in Bolivia and ended up with a 2-0 win for Bolivia. In fact, yeah, Bolivia on the back of a 2-2 draw against Paraguay. Peru losing to Argentina. In fact, they haven't scored a goal in the last 3. They've only scored 1 goal in the last 5. Goodness gracious me. The odds for this one, I don't have any. But I'm going to go with a Bolivia and Bolivia with a draw on this one in Peru, which again dents Peru's chances to get to the World Cup in 2026. But it does give Bolivia another point in the bag. Into the final couple here, we have Ecuador taking on Venezuela, coming at you the Estadio Rodrigo Paz Delgado. So in Quinto. It's actually on the 21st of the 3rd. That's right, the 21st of March. Ecuador under Sebastian Baqueca. They are 3rd in the table right now, unbeaten in the last 5 up against Venezuela, who are 8th, but they haven't won in the last 6. Goodness gracious. They played 18 times these two nations since 2003. 6 wins Ecuador, 7 wins Venezuela. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. Ecuador, of course, do have a 3-0 win on the record, scoring 24 goals in those 18 games, 1.33 goals a game on average. Venezuela, though, 3-1 win, their biggest, scoring 20 goals in those 18 games, 1.11 goals a game on average. Last time around over at Ecuador, I'm going to go with a 1-0 win back in November 2021. The most recent match, though, between these two sides was in the Copa America back in June 2024. It was a 2-1 win for Venezuela. A lot of draws knocking around between these two sides. 3 of the last 6 have ended up all square. Venezuela on the back of a 3-1 loss to USA. It's back in January. Ecuador picking up that win against Colombia. Ecuador are a powerhouse right now. 2-0 winners for them. Venezuela on the slump, and they could actually trickle out of those top 6 spots. They're already out of the top 6 spots, but basically they could be out of reckoning very, very soon. And then finally we have the spicy one. It is Uruguay. It is Argentina, also on the 21st of March, coming at the Estadio Central Montevideo. Uruguay under Marco Bielsa, 2nd in the table, 20 points for the campaign. Just 1 defeat in the last 6 up against Argentina under Lionel Scaloni on 58% form. Just 1 defeat in the last 4. They've played 19 times since 1930. 5 wins Uruguay, 11 wins for Argentina. There's been 3 draws between the two sides. Uruguay with a 2-0 win on the record, scoring 25 goals in those 19 games, 1.32 goals a game on average. Argentina, though, 3-0 winners, their biggest, scoring 35 goals in those 19 games, 1.84 goals a game on average. Coming at you, though, last time around at Uruguay, it was a 1-0 win for Argentina back in November 2021. That was in the old World Cup qualifier then. But last time they played was in Argentina back in November 2023, and Uruguay won that game. 2-0 winners. Uruguay on the back of that 1-1 draw away to Brazil. Argentina on the back of that 1-0 win over Peru on this one. This one's a spicy one, of course. Uruguay, I don't think they'll lose this one. I'm going to go with a draw, 1-1 in the end. They could win it, but I'm going to go with a draw. That, my friends, is what I've got. What do you think will happen this coming match day over in South America? Let me know down below. But until then, subscribe, smash a like, catch you later. We're done.